Mom said I can have your car when you die, my nephew said. I looked at him and laughed because I thought he was joking. We were at my mother's house for Thanksgiving and my 8-year-old old nephew Brandon was sitting next to me on the couch playing on his iPad. I said, "Buddy, I'm not dying. I'm perfectly healthy." He looked up, confused, and said, "But Mom said you have cancer in your brain and you only have a few months." I stopped laughing. I said, "Brandon, I don't have cancer. Who told you that?" He said, "Everyone knows Mom showed me the website with your picture on it." My sister Teresa was in the kitchen with my mother, and I could hear them laughing about something. I said, "What website?" Brandon typed something and handed me the iPad. The title was, "Help Kevin Fight Stage 4, Brain Cancer Photo of Me." My head was shaved, and I looked pale and thin, except I've never shaved my head in my life. Someone had photoshopped my face onto a sick person's body. The page had raised $418,000. I couldn't breathe. I scrolled down and read the description. Kevin was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer 6 months ago. He's fighting bravely, but medical bills are overwhelming. Any donation helps. I clicked on the updates. There were dozens of them. Photos of me in a hospital bed. Photos of me hooked up to machines. A photo of me with my head wrapped in bandages after surgery. None of it was real. Someone had created an entire fake, dying version of me. The most recent update was 3 days ago. Kevin had a rough week. Doctors say the tumor is growing. Thank you for your continued support. The organizer was Teresa Mitchell, my sister. I walked into the kitchen holding the iPad. My mother was stirring gravy, and my sister was on her phone. I held up a screen and said, "What the hell is this?" Teresa's face went white. My mother saw it and dropped her spoon into the pot. I said, $400,000. You've been telling people I'm dying of brain cancer. Teresa started stammering. She said, "Kevin, let me explain. It started small. I needed help with bills, and I thought maybe a few $100s, and then it took off, and I didn't know how to stop it." I said, "A few $100s? You raised almost $500,000? You photoshopped my face onto dying people? You posted an update 3 days ago saying my tumor is growing?" My mother finally spoke. She said, "We were going to tell you. Eventually, we were going to split it." I said, "Split it with me. You committed fraud in my name. You stole money from people by telling them I was dying." Teresa was crying. Now she said, "It's not like anyone got hurt. These people wanted to help. They feel good about donating." I said, "I have cause worker who donated to this. My old teacher donated $500. My exege's unfriend started a prayer chain. You made everyone I know think I'm dying." My mother stepped toward me and said, "Kevin, please calm down. We can figure this out as a family." I said, "As a family? How long has this been going on?" Teresa wouldn't look at me. My mother said, "About 2 years." I felt sick. I said, 2 years? You've been telling people I have brain cancer for 2 years? Teresa said it wasn't always cancer. The first one was a car accident, then it was a house fire, then kidney failure. The cancer one just did the best. I said, "The first one. How many of these have you done?" My mother said, "Kevin, please, you don't understand the pressure we've been under financially." I said, "How many?" Teresa finally looked at me. She said, "This is the 4th one, but the others only raised a few thousand each. This one was different. It went viral. A local news station did a story on you. We couldn't stop after that." I thought about the last 2 years, the time my mother asked if I was feeling okay, the times Teresa mentioned I looked tired. They were building their story. I said, "Did anyone else know about this?" They both looked at the floor. I said, "Who else knew?" My mother said, "Your aunt, your cousin Teresa's husband." A few others helped share the posts. I said, "My whole family has been telling people I'm dying and collecting money for 2 years. Nobody thought to mention it to me." Brandon walked into the kitchen still holding his iPad. He said, "Uncle Kevin, are you mad because you're not really dying? I thought you'd be happy I looked at this innocent kid who had been lied to, just like everyone else." I said, "I am happy, buddy. I'm very happy I'm not dying." I turned to my mother and sister. I said, "I'm calling the police tonight and a lawyer tomorrow. You can explain to them why you've been running a fraud operation using my identity for 2 years. Teresa grabbed my arm and said, "Kevin, please don't do this. I'll go to prison. Think about Brandon. He needs his mother." I pulled my arm away and said, "You should have thought about Brandon before you scammed $500,000 pretending your brother was dying of cancer." My sister is awaiting for wire fraud and identity theft. My mother took a plea deal. I kept my car.